The modern mind has grown ill. Every time I'm in nature, I realize how crazy humanity has become. How restless, how stressed. We are forcing everything into existence. More manifestation techniques, more therapies to calm down your nervous system because you're burning out, because you're trying so hard, achieving the goal, having the family, getting the car. We are all the time forcing. And then one day you go out into nature all alone because all your dreams might have failed. But this time you're not sad. Quite the opposite. This time you feel happy, peaceful. Why? Because the rushing is over. For the first time in your life, you're not going anywhere. Not anymore. You spend time in nature and you look around and you see everything moves with such an ease, with such a calmness, tranquility. Nothing is forced when you look around in nature. And yet, nothing is left undone. Everything happens naturally, perfectly aligned with the laws of nature. But we humans, we have separated ourselves from nature. Probably because we thought we are superior to nature. And we are the only species who can move against the flow of nature, and we pay a huge price. Yeah, we can be the creator of our own life, but we are much more co-creators with an entire system. We are not isolated from nature, but the price we pay is depression, suicide, burning out, developing all kinds of illnesses and injuries, disharmony in our relationships. You name it. At the depth of our longing is that we breathe as one, that we live as one, embedded, involved, connected with an entire system. That is what we long for. To breathe with the rhythm of the cosmos that is moving through us. To go to bed when we feel called to sleep. To wake up when God is waking us up. To eat when we feel hungry. To move into love when we feel loving. To be alone when we feel the need for space. To create when something inside of us is knocking at the door of our heart, telling us that it wants to be expressed. To be silent when nothing needs to be done. To rest whenever we feel like we need to rest. Behind all of our desire to achieve things is one desire. Unconsciously, we hope that we achieve all our goals so that one day we can say, now I've done it. Now I can be peaceful. Now I can stop searching. Now I can start flowing with nature, with life. Sadly, many of us see that this day never arrives. We start chasing until we lie in the deathbed, and then it's going to be done. Then we can maybe say, now I'm going to rest, and then on the graveyard is written, rest in peace. Finally you rest in peace. You had to wait until you die to rest in peace. But it doesn't have to be that way. And that is the illness of the modern mind. And now I challenge you. What if you move away into nature, into the wilderness, all alone? Don't take anybody with you. Go alone. And don't just go alone physically, go alone out up here as well. Detach from the world. And ask who you are and what you're all the time looking for when you are out there. Look around, look at the seas, the lakes, the rivers, the stones, the birds, the trees. Ask them. Ask them what they are looking for. They will tell you, I'm not looking for anything, I'm just a bird, I'm just a tree. I am just whatever life wants me to be. And I'm in perfect peace and harmony with it. But human, what does it mean to be just human? A creative, intelligent, smart being that can express so many different things. That is the beauty of human. But this creativity can only be explored in peace and in relaxation. When everything is done. When everything comes to rest. When you are no more performing for the world, for money, for people, for fame, for validation. That is when suddenly you become natural and loose. This is what Jesus taught about. Lao Tzu, the Taoism, has been talking about it. The Wu Wei, non-forcing. Don't force. Everything that forces will break. Everything in resistance will hurt, will injure, will go into suffering. I believe it's a highly spiritual path. Transcending the ego that is chasing. You see, the soul, everything that comes from the soul, that never feels stressful. When you move in alignment with your soul, you're not in an energy of chasing. You're not in an energy of, I need to get there. I need to get this done. You're not stressed. Everything you do is fully in tranquility. You still do a lot of things, but these things are made for their own sake. They are just happening through you. It feels effortless. That is the energy of the soul. The energy of the ego is the opposite. It is that thing that is always imagining a future, always going somewhere, chasing. Everything that you do in the present moment is supposed to get you to a place that is more exciting. That is the promise, the false promise of the ego. And we live in a society that celebrates egos. You see everywhere courses to get rich, get more attention, algorithms. Find that lover, get that house. Be this and that way in order to be loved, accepted, valuable. Our ego feels like, oh wow, he or she gets the answer now. I've got to follow them. Nah. I hope you find peace, clarity, play, creativity, effortlessness. When you feel like this world is making you sick, go away for some time. Figure out who you are when nobody is watching. Figure out who you are when you're not performing for money, for people, for your family, for your parents, for your brothers, for your friends. If there's nothing you need anymore from them, if you're completely blissful and joyful by just being by yourself alone, expressing your creativity, then you have gained a big amount of freedom, a state of freedom that is very rare. And that's what I wish for you. Before we kill ourselves and the planet and everything around.